when I contribute. Contribution not simply in terms of money or resources or even time, but ultimately when I can contribute to someone's choice, to make someone more happy, to make someone more free, eternally relieved, that is living. And that I can make someone happy, I can make someone relatively free, relaxed, or joyous only when I am happy. Relative. I am relatively free to give happiness, to create happiness. That can happen only if I have a contributory psyche. I have to grow out of my self-centered, self-dissatisfaction. And that balance or growing out happens when I accept the pleasant and unpleasant, comfortable and uncomfortable gracefully. In other words, when there is titiksha, when I can accept it, then I am free from disappointments. There are so many disappointments with myself. But when I accept it objectively, there is no disappointment. And objectivity comes when I see gracefully as Ishvara. Karma Daksha is manifesting this way. And that acceptance, graceful acceptance, gives me necessary composure to empathize with others, for my compassion to express it out. You see, very beautifully Lord said, Yambhina vyathayante te purusham purushashabha samadukha sukham dhinam so amrutatvaya kalpat. That person, amrutatvaya mokshaya yogya bhavat. Moksha means self-knowledge, owning of the self. And the self is nothing but compassion. Ananda expresses as compassion. And that expression in the form of compassion comes when I appreciate, I have inner leisure to empathize. And that is possible when I have some composure. I am relatively happy with myself. And that I can be relatively composed and happy only when I take the pleasant and unpleasant, comfortable and uncomfortable situation with the sameness of the mind. And how titiksha is the first quality required for moksha. And that sameness comes when I look at it as a prasada. Please understand, there is no object called prasada. Object is object, your attitude is prasada. Thing is same. Like even in our Indian temples, there are shops, sweet shops outside. That is our culture, that you don't go empty-handed to Bhagavan, to Guru, to Raja, Vidwan. Ritta Panin na vivade. You cannot go empty-handed. Go with something. In some of the Vaishnava Sampradayas, they make themselves and carry to the Lord. Give it to the Lord. Bring it. Now, when you don't carry, you buy it from outside. When you buy, it is simply laddu. When you give it to temple, that pujari takes one and puts some tulsi and gives back. That very act converts into prasad. Because it is looked upon as something that has come from the Lord. Object is same. It tastes the same. What it tastes before. It doesn't change. Any intrinsic change doesn't happen. But attitudinal change takes place. By just putting near and giving you back. Because that comes from the Lord, it becomes prasad. This attitude acts as a shock absorber to absorb the self-disappointments, self-discontentment, self-complaints, self-dissatisfaction. This attitude acts as a shock absorber. And more you can absorb, more you are free from inner pressure of likes and dislikes. More free from hurts and guilt. Why me? That is not there. Me only. That is the attitude that develops. And that is relative freedom takes you to absolute freedom. So prayerful living from this perspective is means to prepare for the knowledge. The second aspect of it is, as a human being, we are given freedom to act. We have to respond the situations for two things in a proper way. For my life, I cannot have independent life like an island. Our very existence is symbiotic. We are interdependent. Since interdependent, even given situation, I am expected to do some contributory things. This is what it is expected out of me. When I have freedom to act, there is certain proper way of acting and certain improper way of doing. Exactly like driving. When you have freedom to drive, there is a proper way of driving. One way you cannot go. Speed limit. You have to drive on the left or right, whatever the country laws. So in a given situation, I am expected to respond, act in a certain way. And God has given us both, as I said in the beginning, the necessary buddhi to understand, and necessary, my buddhi means gnana shakti and kriya shakti to act upon. And gnana shakti to understand what is proper to be done, and kriya shakti to do that proper action. To perform that action with an attitude is also prayerful living. In other words, if I use known words, there are certain duties which I have to perform. There are certain values which I have to commit to. Since I have freedom, I cannot and I should not abuse it. I should not deprive somebody of the rights and the needs. Use it judiciously. Therefore, certain values are given. One of them, you can say ahimsa. I don't hurt, I don't kill. That's a value, because I have freedom and capacity to kill and hurt. With the buddhi, very sophisticated. Therefore, there is a value called ahimsa. Committing to the value of ahimsa, with an attitude, what? This is his command. A given situation in life is as per karma phalas, and whatever I am expected to do, I do it as a seva to Ishvara. So performing duty with Ishvararpana buddhi also becomes prayerful. This is what I have to do. Who puts you in this situation? Bhagavan. That is Bhagavad Ichcha that I have to do this. So look upon duty as command or the wish of the Lord. That's why they say in English, may thy wish prevail. May thy wish prevail means, in a given situation, what is to be done, I do it as offering to the Lord. As they call it in Sanskrit, Swami Paramatmananda. Or this famous verse of Gita, Yad karoshi yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi dadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madana. Or you might have heard this quite a number of times from Puja Swamiji. Swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati mana. That karma becomes archana, not offering the flower, but the action itself is an offering to the Lord. Swakarma means what is to be done. In context of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was placed in a situation where he had to fight the war on the side of dharma. He had to fight. And therefore it is told, Yuddhacha mamanusmaraja. You do fighting. This is your role to be played. But then, fight as mamanusmara means as an offering to the Lord. Lord put me in a given situation, and that doing swadharma, doing swakarma, doing duty with an attitude as an offering to the Lord becomes a prayerful living. Please understand, there is nothing called act without expecting. So many things, confusions are there in India. Like secularism is another confusion. Fundamentalist is another confusion. Intolerance is new confusion. Suddenly started. They marketed intolerance. And now this act without expecting the result. Even Bhagavan doesn't do. Swamukhena uktam. He himself said, this famous verse all of you know. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. Jan avatarasya kalam avatarasya prayojanam uktam. Kalam kada yada yada hi dharmasya, that is kalam. And what is prayojanam? Paritranaya sadhunam. To protect sadhus, destroy vinashaya dushkrutam, adharmis, and establish dharma. I take avatar. That means what? Bhagavan also has expectation. Before starting from Vaikuntha, before he started, he took that avatara by which Dushkari Hananam takes place. That was his expectation. Like this Hiranyakashipu, the demon, had a boon that I cannot be killed by a human or animal, by anybody who is created by Brahmaji, neither day or night, neither inside, outside, not with astra, not shastra, not. Therefore, expecting him to be killed, he became Nrsimha. He didn't come as Krishna. He could have come with flute, but he didn't come for that time. He decided to be as Nrsimha. He also expects. He also calculates, unless I become Nrsimha, I cannot kill him. That is first calculation. That's the only window available to kill. And having become Nrsimha, he did expect to kill him. Bhagavan also has expectation. He taught Gita, correct? To Arjuna, all of you know. At the end of it, on 18th chapter, there is a verse. He says, Kaschidetat Shutam Partha Dvaya Ekagrena Chetasa. Hey Partha, Etat Sarvam Maya Uktam. Whatever I say, Dvaya Shutam Ekagrena Chetasa. Did you listen this with attentive mind? Why attentive mind? Next slide. Kaschid Agnana Sammoha Pranashtaste Dhananjaya. Hey Arjuna, in the beginning you said, Pruchhami Tvam Dharma Sammuda Cheta. I am confused about my dharma. And so your confusion is gone or not? Kaschid Agnana Sammoha, born out of ignorance. Moha Nashta, is it gone? What does it mean? When he asked, that means he expected Arjuna to understand. When you ask, have you understood it properly or not? That means I want you to understand. And how long he kept teaching? Second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter, 18th. And then asked, and I bet, I can bet 100%. I am ready to put my dollar on it. Though I don't have any as of now. But if in answer to this question, when Krishna asked, have you understood it or not? Arjuna said in Gita, Nashto Moha. I am clear. But suppose Arjuna had said, I don't know, I am still confused. I bet there would be 19th chapter. He will continue. He would have done even a slightest of hint, verbal, of not understanding, he went on. Third chapter, fifth chapter. Even without telling, he could see the eyes. I think he has not understood. So without asking, he went on. Like a typical perfectionist father, giving so much of instruction to child. Do this, don't do this, you have to do that. I understood. Daddy, I understood. Chup ho jaoga, jane to dimag chaat rahe ho. He kept telling and telling and telling. You see, some of the adhyayas are there without Arjuna's question. That is Krishna's inference that he has not understood. It must be right because he is Sarvajna. Our inference may go wrong. He knew it. To say this, listen this. Suppose somebody is sitting in a group and everybody is discussing and this person, one person doesn't speak at all. And ask him, hey, why are you not talking? Why are you not contributing to any discussion? Swamiji, I am dumb from birth, I cannot speak. He tells me this. That is in Sanskrit called Vadato Vyaghataha. There is a contradiction in very speaking. Similarly, when I say you act without expecting, And that is what I expect you. When I say any teacher telling to a student, you should act without expecting, the teacher expects that my student act without expecting. That is his expectation. It is like I am dumb. A modern teacher can make such mistake, but not Krishna. There are some teachers. You should not keep wealth. Give it to me. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. Money is anartha. Don't keep it. Then what should I do? Give it to me. This is modern teacher, okay? So, Krishna, it is not possible. Please understand. And that is not the meaning of karmanyavadikaras. The meaning is whatever is to be done, do it as an offering to the Lord. Do expect what? As they do Sankalpa daily. Ishvara prityartha idam aham karomi. I want the grace of the Lord. What kind of grace? Mamopatta samasta durita kshaya dvara. Durita kshaya. What is durita? Blemish. Which is blemish? Raga dvesa kshaya dvara. That I may be able to manage my likes and dislikes. I am not swayed away. My wisdom is not hijacked by my likes and dislikes. That is durita kshaya. And that is Ishwar Krupa. So performing the duty as an offering to the Lord is also prayerful living. Things to be done, I do it as an offering to Lord. Like a typical Indian Pativrata Nari, she does everything at home to have her husband pleased, for husband's happiness. Some guest comes, she doesn't like, but gives them tea, coffee. Some guest comes, she wants to sit and talk, but husband doesn't have time, gives her. And of all the persons, serving mother-in-law. Or husband prityartha idam aham karomi. That is the attitude, is prayerful living. Performing my duty is an offering to the Lord. That is karmana abhyarch. Like pushparchana, offering flowers, my duty is an offering to you. That is your wish, and I do. And that common sense to interpret what is to be done in given situation, we all of us have. And that sense is called common sense. And there are certain mandatory things. Shastra, according to Varnashrama, you have to do certain things. And some common sense to adhere to Nitya Naimittik Karma as an offering to the Lord and do it with an attitude is prayerful living. And this prayerful living releases that pressure, why should I do? Of likes and there are two types of likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes towards a given situation and likes and dislikes towards the things to be done. Two ways. For a given situation and things, I look at it as prasada. For what I have to do, I look at it as this is to be done, full stop. When I bring in Ishvara. Then why me? Why I have to do? That question doesn't. like a typical children. Why all the time, mom, you ask me to do, why not the brother or sister? That thing, that kind of thinking doesn't come. Then every work becomes a source of joy and satisfaction. Because what I do is not important. For whom I have to do is important. Like what I receive, gift is not important. But I am doing it for the Lord. That is important. That's why there is a famous bhajan of Mirabai, Mana chakar rakho ji, girdhari lala chakar rakho ji. You please employ me as your servant. Nita nita, why? Nita nita darshan pasu. When I serve you, I will have daily darshan of yours. And that is how we have this system of offering what is to be done to the Lord. Every housewife, when she cooks the food, first offers to the Lord. A businessman gets the first, receives some first cash, offers it to the Lord. Why businessman? Even a rickshawala in India. And there is a first client, then you negotiate. Saab, morning ka time hai, jo de do. And then you give him, he will do something like that. And then put it. That is why we have still this custom. A child, when he gets his first salary or first month of business profit, they will come to temple and offer it to temple, or go to Guruji and offer to Swamiji. Why? This is my offering to the Lord. That is why in our culture everything is religious. What all is to be done is religious. There is nothing secular. Even the business is religious. Every shopkeeper will have some Lakshmi ji or Ganpati or Narayana or Shiva or Venkatesh or some photo. And he will start the day with some lighting a lamp and agarbatti and the Narayana. This is entering the house is an offering to the Lord. That is why we have Guru Pravesha Vidhi, Vastu Pujanam. And we invoke, and then there is a kalasha in which it is invoked and spread everywhere. That is Lord's house. I am entering. This house is offered to the Lord. A typical Hindu, even in America I have seen. When they buy a new car, they will take the car to temple. And ask the pujari to do some chandanam, bandanam, etc. The car is offered to the Lord. This is what to be done, is an offering. Therefore, we have puja for our machines also, Dasharatha. They do all puja for this less machine and whatever machines they have, they do to puja. Vishwakarma Jayanti day. Because my karma becomes an offering to the Lord. That attitude releases me from my pressure of likes and dislikes towards my duty. Why? When I perform a duty, calculative mind, why should I do? What will I get out of it? This fellow doesn't deserve. All these questions don't come. Whether that person, because my duty is somebody's right, somebody is going to benefit. Why should I give it to him? That's not my lookout. That I have to give is a full stop. I am not giving it to him, offering to the Lord. Ultimately, I am doing like the housewife. She gives tea to the guest. It is not to satisfy the guest. She wants the husband to be happy. For his sukha prityate, idam aham karomi. So, while performing the duty, I don't look at the beneficiary. This is what I have to do. I do it as an offering to the Lord. And that's why one of the reasons we have these mantras, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. Serving parents is also serving the Lord. Mata Devatulya, Tad Bhavena. Looking upon mother as Devata, you perform it. Offer it to the Lord in the form of mother. Offer it to the Lord in the form of father. Even feeding annam, atithi devo bhava, that is also as an offering to the Lord in the form of guest. So prayerful living involves commitment to one's duty, not rights. Rights become secondary, subservient. First of all, I commit myself to duty, and whenever I commit to duty, you have to compromise your comforts. You cannot perform duty very comfortably. Remaining in your comfort zone, I performed, it doesn't happen. Duty itself is tapas. Dharma itself is tapas. And that is called surrender. Surrendering my comfort. Surrendering my likes and dislikes. Surrendering my values about good and bad. Whatever it is, this is to be done. So I told you, prayerful living is attitude. And the prayer means surrender. Prayer doesn't mean simply chanting. Prayer doesn't mean simply doing japa. Prayer doesn't mean simply doing puja. Prayer doesn't mean simply doing pradakshina. But that actions can be acts of prayer. But it becomes prayer when that is surrendered to the Lord. As I told you yesterday, I can go for a walk in the morning, 3.5 kilometers, and come back. That becomes prayer, provided I start with an attitude that I am going to temple, not for walk. Walking is a side benefit, byproduct. I want to have darshan of the Lord. If that attitude I walk, then action becomes surrender, offering. Offering an action. See, prayer, as I said, is an attitude of surrender. Surrendering what? Not vastu. Surrendering of likes and dislikes. Because vastu, you cannot surrender, like our famous verse in Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami sab kuch hai tera, kya lage mera. It's so true. Everything in Swamiji's word, everything is given. Not even given, everything is gifted. I am gifted with this my body, gifted with this intellect, gifted with all potentials, gifted with situations, etc. What belongs to me is to be offered. That likes and dislikes belongs to me. Offering the likes and dislikes, surrendering the likes and dislikes, it makes it prayer. And when I said contributory living, when I contribute to somebody's happiness, when I contribute to somebody's joy, when I contribute to someone's freedom, then it is living. But that contribution happens if I commit to duty. And it is always unpleasant. Always. At every age, what I am expected to do and what I want to do they hardly coincide. I like to do something just opposite of what I am expected, and I hardly don't like what I am not expected. I like just that same. It is always there. This is called surrendering of ego. That ahankara is not simply individuality. Ahankara is bundle of likes and dislikes. Surrendering the likes and dislikes is prayer, is offering. In the beginning, it is a deliberate act, like sharing the toffees with brothers. A small chocolate. You surrender. There was some crisis in the heart. Why should I give? But I give. That deliberate thing becomes spontaneous. When I like to do what is to be done, and when I don't like what is not to be done. My raga dveshas are not in opposition to my duties, dharma, adharma. They coincide with it. That becomes spontaneously. A simple couple of examples. Our Mahatma Gandhi, it was expected, and it is expected for every individual to speak truth. He had spoken lies. He confessed in his autobiography, nth number of times. When he decided to speak, it was a deliberate action to speak truth, not to speak untruth. He had to push himself. And later age, he loved to speak truth. In other words, incapacity to do adharma. I am just incapable of telling lie. Gandhiji was incapable of telling lie. That is growth. That is successful living. I am incapable to commit to adharma. I am incapable not to do dharma. I am helpless to myself. Just the opposite of Duryodhana. Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti. Janami adharmam nachame pravrutti. I cannot do this. That is total freedom. Our free will is inhibited by likes and dislikes. The free will becomes free when the free will naturally, spontaneously identifies with dharma. As they say in Ramayana, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. Rama is embodiment of dharma. Means Rama naturally commits himself to dharma. He just cannot commit to adharma. That is real freedom. And that person is in the beginning there is a pressure to follow dharma. Why should I speak truth? Why should I give? No, I don't want to give. But use your free will to give. No, I have to give. And later on, I just cannot but give. The same child, when grown up, shares with the family without asking them, without mother or father telling him or her. He just sees the need, sees the family suffering or whatever they need. He reaches out that I become helpless to myself in giving. That is growth. There is one thing I told when Puja Swamiji I had to speak on it. In Coimbatore, I said two things. Swamiji was a Vashi person. One thing about him you should know. He had never said sorry to anybody. Never. Not because of arrogance. How should I tell sorry? No. He never uttered such a word by which he has to roll back. All his speech was finished product, very sophisticated finished product of his thinking. Our speech is raw material for thinking. Understand the difference? The speech should be the finished product of thinking, not the raw material of thinking. He never got angry. He remembered the date also. In 68 at Madurai railway station I was angry. That's all. Such a Vashi person. Jitendriya. So alert. Savdhan as they call it. Yukta har viharasya. So much he was. But he himself used to tell. One thing, I am helpless to myself. What? I am helpless to my compassion. Chinmayananji when gave him sannyasa, and somebody asked him, Swamiji, why did you give him this name Dayananda? You know, Chinmayananji said, do I have a choice of other name for him? So true. Such a Vashi person who never got angry, who never had to say sorry. You know that you used to narrate, I don't know where it happened, you used to narrate that incident. During the millennium year, he had live interview somewhere. And this anchor person was little hostile. And then he could say, he was a very sharp person, he sensed that this fellow is hostile. So he started talking about Gandhiji, who was Gandhiji, what do you think about Gandhiji, all that, you know. Bakri ko dabbe mein kar liya. Well, you believe him, you respect him, yes, you believe him. So, yeah, we follow the same value. Adiji was Pujari for Ahimsa and Satyam. We take the law of Ahimsa and Satyam. Sannyasa is Ahimsa, everything is same. So he got commitment. Yes, you will follow Gandhiji. He is a person to be followed. Then quietly he said, after some cornering, I have heard this statement of Gandhiji. Swami, what's your take on this? Which statement? Gandhiji has said, if somebody slaps me on one cheek, I will give the other. Correct? You heard this or not? Ek thappad lagaya, main dusra gaal dunga. Yes, there is a statement of Gandhiji. And Swamiji said, if I say yes, he will try. What is your take? I accept that if he says, and if he says no, he will say, all this time you said you follow Gandhi. You know what Swamiji said? He said, just listen to me. He made sure that he doesn't jump to give. He said, I 100% believe it. If someone gives me on one check, I will give him the second. But I will never create a situation by which I get the first one. I will never get into that. If I get first, then there is the question of second. You know, such a Vashi person, I am helpless to my compassion. Then whenever somebody comes, I always feel, how can I help him to grow? That is living. And that is prayerful living. That is total freedom from any inner pressure. No cabin pressure whatsoever. Because the likes and dislikes don't come into play. And that happens when you see whole creation as non-separate from Ishvara. And that every situation in which I have to respond becomes a mandate of the Lord, and act it out as a seva to Ishvara. So, very existence of such a person is prayerful living. That is a real living when he or she keeps contributing for the growth of other person in terms of joy, happiness, comfort, freedom. And while contributing, the person has an attitude of offering to the Lord. Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhi. So many verses in Bhagavad Gita. Mat karma krut mat paramaha mat bhakta sangha varjita nirvaina sarva bhuteshu. That is bhakti. All karmas, no vairam, means no raga dvesha for anybody. Mat karma krut madartham api karmani karoti. Ishwarartha. Mat paramaha. The karma is done to gain him. Ishvara prityarthe idam aham karo. Therefore, in all our duty, Vedic karmas, which are nitya or naimittika, there is only one sankalpa. Mamopata samasta durita kshaya dvara Ishvara prityartha idam aham karo. That is a growth. What is growth? I am incapacitated to do a dharma. I am incapable not to do dharma. I am incapable not to do what I have to do. And I am incapable to do what is not to be done. In other words, I just cannot speak untruth. I just cannot hurt others. That incapacity is total freedom. That is a free will. And that is possible when you have Ishvara in life. Last but not least, to take right decision is also prayerful living. Human life is nothing but series of decisions. You take a right decision at a right time, at a right place, in a right situation. Right means proper. What is to be decided? Because action will follow based on your decision. And therefore I do the proper action. For that you need an act of prayer also. I seek the blessings. Oh Lord, may I think properly. May I decide properly. Because most of the decisions are nothing but speculation. We have very little data to decide. I am sure when all of you decided to move to United Nations, America, none of you thought you will end up here in California and have this life. Somebody went and said, your cousin said, Aajao, aage. And you bought a house and you stayed this. Why America? Getting married, what data you have? Nothing. Except she is daughter of so-and-so, son of so-and-so, that's all. The more you live with the person, you discover the person. Then feels happy, oh my God, lucky. 100%. That decision is grace. That's why you require a prayer. So when you pray, generally you pray for something here and there, samartha kama. Pray to the Lord, oh Lord, bestow me with the right thing. And prayerful living therefore involves Gayatri Japa in Hindu's life. What do you think our rishis thought? You start doing this from the age 5 or 8 whenever Yagnopavit is given. And you have to do thrice a day. Gayatri Japa. And after marriage there is double Yagnupam. What is the meaning of Gayatri? That Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Naha Diyaha Prachodayat. That's all. Yat Savituhu Varenyam Bhargaha Tat Naha Diyaha Prachodayat. Naha means of all, us all, not me only, from us all. Diyaha, Buddhi. May he guide our buddhi, may he prompt our buddhi to right decision. And Savita, as I told you, sun is symbol of Vishnu, Narayana, Sthitikarta. So to survive, I should have proper thinking. Therefore, there is a prayer daily, thrice a day. So prayerful living also involves this prayer. That every Hindu was given this samskar. Do that japa. And by the way, that is why in our we pray, in Hindu temple we start with lighting the lamp. Any puja, to light the lamp. And end with also light. Lighting the lamp is a prayer for knowledge. Right thinking. And ultimate right thinking is what? As I told you in the beginning, you have to change the way of thinking, way of looking at the world. From that psyche, survival psyche, has to change. That change, way of looking at the world and way of looking at myself, ultimate change is discovering myself to be Purna. And when that discovery takes place, every moment existence is prayer. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janas sukrutin arjuna arto jignasu artharthi gnani cha bharatarsha tesham gnani nitya yuktaha vishishyate. Gnani is always connected to me. He is 24/7 bhakta. Therefore Vishishya. Among Artha, he says 4 types of bhaktas come to me. Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu and Gnani. Tesham Gnani Nitya Yuktaha Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate. Udara Sarve Vaitu. Gnani tu Atmaiva Me Matam. Ultimate shift in thinking is the way I know myself. That self-estimation with certain non-acceptable facts are no more non-acceptable. Fact remains fact. Those unpleasant facts, there is a space within in the discovery that non-acceptability belongs to Upadhi, not me. I am the Sachaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya, who is free from any limitation. That shift, having that space, and this way of looking at myself as Nitya Shuddha Chaitanya makes person Nitya Yuktaha Eka Bhakti Vishishya. The whole existence is prayerful. That is Nitya Yukta Bhakta. He is always united with Ishvara. Because you cannot get away from yourself. And for a wise man, Ishvara is the self. That self being full, Purna, that self being Purna, there is nothing to hold back. Whole life is giving. And that is why Swamiji said, I am helpless to my compassion. That is ultimate prayerful. First you look upon Ishvara as a separate. Karma Daksha, Karma Faldata, his manifestation, situation, duties, etc. Ultimately discovering him as the very self. I am non-separate from him. And that self which is apuryamanam, full and complete, and therefore that person is prayerfully living. For that person, whole world is nothing but what? Isha Vasyam Idam. That means he is relating to Ishvara only. Prayer is to connect to Ishvara. He relates. In which way? He knows. They have very beautiful statement of Hanumanji. Once he was asked, hey, who are you? Rama said, hey, Hanumanji, who are you? He says, Deha buddhyatu dasosmi. From the body point of view, I am your dasa. Jiva buddhyatu adamshakaha. If you talk of Jiva, I am Amsha. Atma buddhya tvam eva aham. I am you. Not you are me. I am you. Atma buddhya tvam eva aham asmi. That is grace. You know, Upadhi has its own limitation. There are certain facts. My self-estimation, my self-identity was based on Upadhi. It had certain facts which were unpleasant. And it has. But it is with Upadhi, not me. It was because of identification with Upadhi, person thought, I am unpleasant. I am incomplete. I am no good, etc. That created cabin pressure. And the cabin is gone, no pressure. Self is no more limited to Upadhi. Self is seen as independent of Upadhi. And that is what makes the whole life as prayerful living. May you discover at both levels, at the level of Vyavahara and Paramartha, this kind of prayerful living. And may you be free within. With these prayers for you and prayers that you know. How will you discover? Continue attending classes. Okay? That's the only way out. So may you have that buddhi to attend classes. With that words, I stop and we'll look into some questions what we have. Half an hour to go.